Okay, so on this one, we want to factor the expression right here. And how are we going to do it? Well, when you have three terms, let me write it out up here. So factoring three terms. Step number one is to do like 2 parentheses with x's in the front. So that's the first thing. 2 parentheses, x's in the front. And step number 2 then, and we're gonna have some kind of number in the back here and number in the back here. We're gonna find the 2 numbers that multiply. Find 2 numbers that multiply to equal the -20 at the back. All right, multiply up here. And B, add to equal the middle number, which is, now what number's in the middle? What number's right here in the middle? What do you do when there's no number in front of x?
You add a 1.
Yeah, there's a -1 there. And you got to keep the sign with it also. Yeah, -1. That's right. Good. Okay, so now let's write out what numbers multiply to equal -20. Don't worry about that. Let's just do the 20 first time. What multiplies to be 20? Well, 4 times 5 and 2 times 10 and 1 times 20. They all multiply to be 20. That's about all I can think of. Use your calculator. You're rusty on some of those. I think that's it. Now, which of the, and don't worry about it, you think, yeah, but those are all regular 20, not negative. Yeah, I know. We'll don't worry about the negative right now. Let's just deal with 20 first off. We'll handle the negative in a minute. But let's first off, let's just think about how can we, now let's switch. They have to also add to be -1. How can they add to be -1? Now I'm going to put in this, which pair of numbers could possibly add to equal -1? Clearly the 4 and the 5, right? It's going to be 4 and 5. Now, what signs do they need in order to make -1, in order to add to be -1? Well, let me give you this rule. Let me write it right here. The sign, well, no, let me write it up here. The sign in the middle, right there, the sign in the middle goes on the bigger number. So that would be 5. He gets the minus. Does that make sense? That rule will always work for you. The sign in the middle goes on the bigger number. The sign in the middle goes on the bigger number. And what's the other one? The other one will be plus. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Plus 4 minus 5. First off, that'll multiply to be -20, right? Positive times negative, in fact, is -20, which is what we actually needed. And what do they add to be? Plus 4 minus 5 adds to equal -1, doesn't it? Think about money. If you gain $4 and lose $5, you're down $1, right? They add to be -1. So that's it. We're done. That's the right answer. This is it. We're done. Let me prove it. Again, not required. We're done at this point. This problem's over. Let me put a box around it. That is our answer. Game over. But just out of interest's sake, let me show you it's really right. Let me do a check down here just for fun. Let me check it. Remember how to check? You take the first one to both, right? You would get x squared minus 5x. That makes sense. I took this x times x times -5. And then he's done. And now the 4 goes to both. Remember how to check? How to multiply these out. Plus 4x minus 20, right? Because plus, you're writing that plus 4, boom and boom. 4x and 4 times -5 is -20. And then the 2 in the middle are like terms, right? They're both the same letter pattern. Those are called like terms. They can combine. They'll make -1x, right? -5 plus 4. And you see, there it is. Check. See, it went back to be the same as the original. And see how in the middle we added these two? I mean, add or subtract, same thing. You add a negative, subtraction. And we multiplied to get the -20. That's why we write add and multiply. So it works, it's true, it's right. The order doesn't matter, by the way. You can put the -5 here and the +4 there. The order doesn't matter, but the signs in front of the numbers does matter a lot, right? The sign in the middle must go on the bigger number. So wherever the 5 is, he can be over here, but he's got to have the negative on him wherever he's at. And the 4 can be over here, but he's got to have the plus on him wherever he's at. So either order, but the negative's got to be on the 5 and the plus on the 4. And so there we go.